kids. Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to look more into the 2012 Chevy Cruze, and I want to see if the rings or the valves are bad. So I went ahead and took the spark plugs out of it, and I took the valve cover off so this way I can actually see the inside of it, see what it looks like. Alright, so I got it number one, top dead center, and there's a couple ways of doing that. First of all, you want to get a socket and put down your crank bolt right there. Now it's actually an E socket, so it's supposed to look like this. But the spark plug's out, it turns over pretty easy, and I was able to use a regular socket, 12 point, and that is a 15 millimeter. The valve cover also takes the E sockets, and that one was a E10. I don't think you're gonna be able to see it. I guess you're just gonna take my word on it. I'm sure you can also use a 12 point, but I have some, just I didn't have a big enough one for the crank bolt. So anyways, you wanna crank it over down there, and you can either put your compression tester tube in there and put your finger over it, and you can feel if it starts blowing, that's the compression stroke. Or you can even put a balloon on it. When it starts to blow up, that's compression stroke. Or the way I did it, took the valve cover off, and you can see the lobes on the cam. One's there and one's there, so that means the valves are not being pressed down at all. So you put a screwdriver in, so you just drop it down in like that. As you're cranking it over, it'll hit the piston and you can watch it go up. Right when it starts to come back down, back it up a little bit. So that's how I did that. Now I have my compression tester tube in here. I'm hooking my air hose up to it. Now if your valves are leaking, you'll be able to hear it either in the exhaust, if it's your exhaust valves, so you get back to the back of the car and listen, or you can hear it in the intake. I just took the little sensor out here and put my ear up to it, and you should be able to hear the air coming out of there. Or you just take it off down there at the intake itself, but it'd be kind of hard to get your ear up to that. You can always use a funnel too, put in there. And then if it's your rings, you're going to be able to hear it in your crankcase. So you can either pull your dipstick out, your oil cap off, or something like that. But since my valve cover's off, you can kind of just hear it everywhere. So I'm going to hook up air pressure to it, and I'll see if you guys can, I'll try to show you guys. I don't know if you're going to be able to hear it. I don't know if you guys can hear the air, but it's mainly coming from put the speaker up to it, but it's coming from right here, so the crankcase, and from where I was burning oil, there was a little bit of smoke left in it, so I was actually able to see smoke come out of it. So that means it's most likely the rings. But I'll go ahead and try the other cylinders, see what they look like. I'll set you guys up and show you how I do top dead center. Alright, so I went ahead and, you guys are on a tripod now. I took the compression tester tube out. Now I'm going to go ahead and put my ratchet on the crank bolt down here. Alright, both of the lobes are off, so that means we're pretty close to top dead center there on compression stroke. So if you watch the screwdriver, it started to drop a little bit right there, so back it up just a tad. Yeah, that should be it right there. So now pull your screwdriver out, or you can use the antenna off the car, or piece of brake line, anything really. Go ahead and throw your tube down in there. And hook your air hose up to it. Okay, well maybe it's not on compression stroke. Alright, we'll move on to number 3 because I'm pretty sure it is. Make sure it's top dead center, it should be. Okay. Take screwdriver out, put the tube back in there. I was hearing all the air come out of cylinder 4 when I put it on cylinder 2. So it's going in the intake maybe and coming back into there. But that don't make sense. Okay, so again I can hear it coming out here. So that means this rings again. Well, my 12 point's slipping on that bolt now. I found a different saw because that kind of works. It's one of these pass-through ones. It's a Craftsman. But as you can see, it's kind of a weird pattern on there, and I actually grabbed a hold of it. Again, it's a 15. But it worked. Alright, so we're top dead center again. Pretty sure compression stroke. So we're going to put the hose back in it and try it again. That's better. Well, it's not better, but it's actually working right. So again, hearing a little blow by on the rings. The reason you want on a compression stroke is because all 4 valves are going to be closed, or 2 valves if you have a 8 valve 4-cylinder. Anyways, all your valves are going to be closed. This way no air is supposed to escape. It kind of makes a sealed unit. So in all reality, you shouldn't really lose much air at all. They actually have something called leak down test that tells you a percentage of what's being lost. I used to have one, but I don't know what to do with it, so we're just gonna go this route. Okay, cylinder 4 is top dead center. So, I'm sure you guys can hear that. I don't know if you guys can see the smoke coming up or not, very faintly. And cylinder 4 is one I'm having a bunch of trouble with. Well, that kind of sucks. So now I'm going to price everything to rebuild the engine and price the used engine, because it also does need a turbo, because there is play in it, of course. But maybe the turbo is not the main cause. If your rings are bad, it's going to allow oil to pass by, and that's what's going to cause the smoke also. So I'm going to price everything, see if it's cheaper to rebuild this one or cheaper to get a used engine. I don't know if you guys watched my other video, but I'm actually planning on flipping this car. So I want to try to do it cheap as possible, but I also don't want to half-ass it. But that's how you guys do technically a leak down test. You just pressurize the cylinder and kind of listen where it comes from. I'm kind of debating on a used engine because when I took my valve cover off, it's got sludge down there. That's not going to be very fun to clean out of there. Well, that's where I'm at with it, guys. Figured I'd go ahead and 100% diagnose it before I order a turbo. So I'm glad I did that. Well, I hope that helped you guys. If you got any questions, go ahead and leave me a comment. Make sure you like, subscribe. I plan on posting a lot more videos over time of how to do things. Alright, thank you guys. Have a good day.